Morning. Well, morning in Colorado, afternoon on the East Coast. We're back. We're live. Shout out to those that survived the hurricane, those that made it out, and those that didn't make it. Deepest condolences and sympathies to your family. Those that lost everything. A lot of people lost stuff from the hurricane. We have some people in Northport and some folks down in the Fort Myers area and Sarasota. I was looking at some pictures this morning of the time lapse with the water coming in on Fort Myers from Fort Myers Beach. Um, Somebody had condensed it down to 30 minutes. Um, you can see how quickly that water came in and how much water came in. So that was interesting. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it. I'll show it in a minute. And then those that are being affected now. Um, I'm not sure if we have members up in um, South Carolina area. I think the storm went back out and then went up the coast. So those that are in harm's way, um, take cover. Make sure you're okay. Make sure your family's okay. Your friends, pets, animals, whatever. But today we're gonna on tech stocks and jobs. We're gonna have a little fun. I won't I can't go all day. I've been told I can't go all day. Somebody was like, if you want things done, you can't go all day. You can see the setting is different. Um, um Here in town, in Georgia. So, you know, I'm gonna try to give y'all at least a good solid. If if listen, look, the person in the back was like, you giving them 1 hour, and you already know who I'm talking about. You already know who the fun Nazi is. You already know who that is. I'm just saying. I'm saying it without saying it. You already know. All right, so let's get in a word for our sponsor. Hey, everybody, welcome to Women in Linux. I am Tam, and Dee is in the background. And we just want to share with you some of the perks of being here on our channel. All right, so first things first, if you want to connect with us on social media, connect with us anywhere on social media at Women in Linux. If that's just too much for you, you can always come and find us on womeninlinux.org. And if that's not enough, we have even more perks where you can hit the connect button. Once you hit connect button, you put your email address in here, and once you put your email address in here, it'll connect with us in our Slack group. We have tons of resources in our Slack group. People looking for jobs, people just looking for advice, people looking for information, and so forth. Right. So again, this is Slack. It's not Discord. So on with using Slack, I warn you, it is resource heavy. So you may need to use either the web browser, or if you're on your phone, you should be fine. But if you're on your desktop, and we know most of you connect on your computer, it's easier to open it up in your web browser so it doesn't take up so much memory or so many processes and so forth. That's just an FYI. That's how I use it. Okay. And if you would like to shop with us, we still have our stuff from our 5 year stuff. Still good. We're working on more t-shirts. No, no estate, no date. We're still working on that. But again, if you want to shop and you want to get some merch, feel free to come here and get some merch. Again, if you come over here and click on all products, you'll see on all the products that we have, from hoodies to masks and so forth and so on, right? And if that isn't good enough for you, you can donate. You can always donate with your time. You can donate with your money. So, how do you donate with your time? You donate with your time by saying, hey, I would like to do a presentation, or I like to volunteer. on helping us grow the channel. You retweet, you share this with other members. In fact, for those of you that come here every single week, we know you come here every single week and you don't subscribe. Subscribe. That helps us grow the channel. That helps us get more content to you. Hey, research isn't easy. I'm not getting paid to do research. I wish it was at a university, but hey, I'm bringing this to you, right? I'm bringing this to you and us and for others, right? So if that doesn't work, you can always donate on PayPal by clicking the donate button. Once you hit the donate button, you have your own denominations in which you can donate. And if that doesn't work to you, for you can always reach out to D and you can cut a check and send a check. That works for us as well. All right. So, what are some other things that we actually do have as well? Right. So, we have a discount with IT Pro TV. You get 30% off. I've used IT Pro TV myself. I've done interviews with them. I'll pull those up as well too. But as you can see, I'm logging into IT Pro TV. What are the benefits here? You need to learn how you learn. So one of the things you can do in IT Pro TV, you can come over here, you can click on courses, and it gives you a list of courses that's separating them out by certification and also separate them out by learning paths. You're like, Tameika, what does that mean? My four basic principles or my four basic foundations of skill sets that you should have is Linux. You should also have an automation tool, whether it's Terraform or Ansible. You should know at least a cloud. I don't care. Pick either one. And finally, last but not least, security. And security comes in multiple forms: security of the operating system, security of the application, and also security of containers, right? And cloud security. So it's multiple facets when we're talking about security. Those are your four basics that you're going to need to to get you a job and then move you up. All right. And we're going to talk about our membership here in another video, but I just want to get this out to you. All right. So that's 30% off of IT Pro TV. And last but not least, our Calendly. We have set up for our Calendly. Let me pull that up. I think I have it saved in my browser here, so I can just go straight to it. If not, I'll get it from D here. Here we go, right here. All right. So with Calendly, we have one-on-one sessions. That's where you get to talk to either me or D, and you can request either one. But where you get to talk to us in a one-on-one session, right? Interview prep. Some of you are getting ready for interviews, or you've never interviewed before. We want to prep you for an interview. Resume review. Let's go over what you have, or let's pull all your skills together. Let's get things formatted properly. Let's get everything going. And last but not least, career assessment. What is your journey? What could it look like? What could you be going through? What are your next steps? Some of you are transitioning, some of you are not, some of you are looking to transition, and some of you are just trying to figure out what is your next step. So by saying all of this, we want you to enjoy your time here at Women in Linux. And also, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the share button, and last but not least, thank yourself that you actually did it. We're back. See everybody in chat. Morning, Kelvin. Morning, Colin Evelyn. Miss Phoenix. Casual economist. You know how from the corner to the kernel does. You know how that goes. Nothing I can do about that. You know. And then Miss Oliver, I see you out in Denver. We have to link up and see what's going on. Charlena, how you doing? D Linux Links, you said who is the corner to the kernel? Well, would you like a story about from the corner to the kernel? Would you like a story about that person? What's going on, Todd? I can give you a great story about that person. Uh-oh. You busy? You need to consult in a minute. Okay. Well, you know how to sign up. A word from our sponsor just told that from the corner to the kernel. Let's give a story about from the corner to the kernel. Let's give that story. Someone would say these are alternative facts, but these are actual facts. The actors in this movie or in this show are not the real people, but these are actual facts. Okay? Casual economists, you already know. Go to Evelyn. I would never put D under the bus. kind of friend do you think I am? What what kind of friend do you think I am? I'm a lady, okay? And we got a message, there was too much cursing in the last video, but I'm like, that wasn't me. That was Plies. Balling. That's what we're gonna be doing. What's going on, Melissa Jane? Yep, I will bail her out. I always out gotta get her. She can go to jail, but I'm not. Here come my mama. She don't know I'm live. She gonna come here and make some noise. Yep, she left. All right, so let's get started. Okay, first things up is I don't know if anyone's been keeping up with what's going on in the news or so forth, but Intel is has the self-driving car division is Mobileye is filing for IPO. D, can you put it up on screen, please? Appreciate you. Make that one. Make that. Thank you. All right. So Intel's self-driving car division Mobileye files for IPO. Why did I want to talk about this morning? Well, I know there's a race, an initiative by 2035 to have gas cars off the road. And also there's a initiative, for everything to really start moving autonomous. We got to talk about the Tesla robot, but we also got to look at it from a perspective of investing, right? And also, because it's tech stocks and jobs, this is also another way to look at it from what type of skill sets would you need to have, right? As you continue your journey in tech, remember I always tell you you got to look at yourself not as a W-2 employee, but as a business. Your skills are part of that business, right? And so when you're looking at something like Intel self-driving car division, Mobileye, and their IPOing, think about the business, how Intel set that business up, that model that they set up, right? They have their own division within Intel. Same way with Google, same way with your government contracting companies like CACI or your Lockheed Martin or Boeing, acquire hire, right? I'm gonna acquire a company to do some stuff, and then we're gonna move that, let that company do its thing, develop research, uh, whatever the case may be, and then we'll move them forward on whatever the latest and greatest or coming up with new things. So we look at it from that perspective, right? Don't look at it as it's just Intel. All right, so let's get into the article. It says Mobileye is an Intel-owned company that makes key processors for self-driving cars that filed for IPO, and this is as of Friday. The move to list Mobile Eye on the Nasdaq is part of Intel's broader strategy to turn around its core business. Right? To turn is that we got to expand. We have to expand and look at this too. Intel acquired the company back in 2017 for $15.3 billion. In 2017, they acquired the company for $15.3 billion. So now think about it from this perspective. Who were the people there that were working on it? And then as well, how much expansion are they planning around this particular company or this particular product, if you want to look at it that way? So when you look at, especially when you all go on interviews, you got to start asking questions about not what they're already doing, but what the plans are, right? Do your research on the company, go to their websites, look at any uh, recent articles, look at any press releases, who's ahead of that particular department on that press release. Do some research on them because you may apply for one job but you may not want to work in that particular division or with that group of people. You may want to work on something else that's a little bit more cutting edge. They may have some future projects coming out that are not even listed on the site. So you got to really really take a dive into that. Yep, we're gonna look at the Tesla robot. What's going on, A Kirk? Thank you. All right, so let me see. Can I get into this? All right, yeah. So here's Mobileye CEO. I guess Anand Sashua. I'm I'm probably murked that, but that's what it looks like to me. Posing with my Mobileye driverless vehicle at the Nasdaq site in New York on July 2021. Right. 2021, 2021. Mobileye, Intel-owned company that makes chips, maps, software for self-driving cars. So type in the chat what you hear when I say that. When I say Mobileye, an Intel-owned company makes chips, maps, software, and self-driving cars. I can tell you off the rip three things that come to my mind. Of course, data comes to my mind, but when I hear chips, I hear edge devices. When I hear maps, I'm also not only are we talking about um, the data, but the imagery that you get from those maps, right? And then we're talking about the software for self-driving cars. The self-driving cars in itself is an edge device. It's one big mobile edge device with many sensors. And on top of that, many sensors, the ability to remote update, which with Tesla, and most of the cars, but also when we're talking about self-driving, we're also looking at getting data feeds from the car on what the surroundings are and so forth. So that all that goes hand to hand. Now I say all those things because all those things are jobs. All those things are skill sets. All those things are something you can get into tech. And here's the other part that we're also missing out on this that I didn't say is how do you secure that data and where does that data live? Where is that data stored? Any type of on cloud devices, cameras, the whole nine. Um, and A Kerr says, I think of the adjacent business that will be impacted by those self-driving vehicles. Yeah. What kind of adjacent businesses? You know, what would be some adjacent businesses from that when we're thinking about it? So, and I'm trying to provoke you all to think outside of the box when we're looking at this, right? Um, because again, like I go back to it before, their jobs, their opportunities. These are ways that you all can get um, into tech and have a long career. We're talking longevity, not just your hey, I went and got my AWS certification, or I went and got my Google certification, and oh, now I don't know what to do next. Think about how that tech is being used. Autonomous cars for I don't I think I had it on one of the shows, but I didn't. I had to go back to my show notes, but let me see if I can find it on here. Um, there's a yeah, right here. So autonomous mobility with at AWS, right? So right here, if you go on, I just typed in. I remembered this, but I didn't bring this up, right? From what it said, AWS is powering. It's powering the continued advancement of autonomous AV or autonomous vehicle development, right? So let me blow this up because it looks small on my screen, so I know it's probably small to you. All right, so here, developing and deploying advanced driver assistant systems and AV systems requires a development platform with highly scalable compute, storage, networking, as well as analytics and deep learning frameworks, right? So now instead of all these parts inside of a car, we just move it up to the cloud. Now, the other part that isn't talked about that I didn't say is the satellites that are going to be used when we're talking about autonomous vehicles. Um, the launching of those satellites, the placement of those. That's why it was so huge when um, we started talking about Starlink, and they launched 32,000 Linux satellites, or 32,000 satellites that were Linux based. You've seen a rapid pickup of people buying RVs, being nomads, moving around the country, and using Starlink, as excuse me, as they're becoming more mobile. So think about that. Think about the satellites that are being used in this, the partnerships that are being used in this, as well too. So just again, think about this. So let's continue reading this. It says, this platform requires capabilities that allow for collection, ingestion, storage, processing, and analytics, labeling and annotation, map development, algorithm and model development, simulations, verification, and validation, and workspace management, inclusive of ML ops and DevOps. And this is why I tell you all, DevOps is you can, this is probably a bad analogy, but it's the gateway drug. It is the gateway drug that gives you the ability to go into multiple lanes, right? So now here we are talking about autonomous cars, and here's DevOps again, which is more than likely most of this is all Linux based. Like I say, Linux is everywhere. It is tech in all things. It is data in all things, and pretty much most of your companies are tech companies. So when we're talking, when I'm speaking to you about those skill sets, think about how many different skill sets you need with DevOps, ML ops, and just what I just listed here: ingestion, storage, processing, and analytics, map development, algorithm, and model development simulations, verification and validation testing, right? I mean, you don't want an autonomous car out there and you have not tested the software, you have not tested the actual car itself, so you don't know if it's, when you say turn right, is it going to go left, right? You want to know, the being able to identify actual an animal or a cat, or not necessarily a cat, but being able to identify the different objects that's coming, being fed to it at one particular time, right? So all those things matter. So here we are talking about autonomous cars. And so if you wanted to, and you were in DevOps and you want to go work on a platform that handles autonomous cars, here it is. Now the question is, what language do you think are mostly people writing this in? Is it Rust? Is it Go? Is it Python? Is it a language that they created internally and it's not exposed to the public? What does that look like? Is it a multitude of languages from C++ to embedded C, right? These are questions and things you need to do a deep dive in on and try to get a feel for that. Let me see. Engineering cannabis says self-driving, the physics, networking, AI architecture, security, data science, IoT sensors, and 4G. Good morning, Natasha. Self-driving car limo service coming soon. Exactly. Even you know what? Here's another one. Here's another thought that I had been thinking about when I was reading this. So a lot of things I've seen around this is a purpose of just for not necessarily moving humans. So if we want to look at it like that, right? But what does that look like for the medical field? When I'm talking about being able to transport patients back and forth from one location to another, what does that look like? um, and will self-driving impact um, something of that nature? Would you need people on board, or could you have sensors to monitor taking someone from one location to another? uh, is that too sterile? Do we need humans in there as we transport people? What does that model look like, right? When we're talking about transporting patients, not necessarily like, hey, this person just had an accident and we're going to transport this person, but maybe we're moving from facility to another facility. What does that look like? What does it look like to when we're looking at self-driving cars for um, senior citizens, taking them to the store, Do we need more human there? Should it be more human impacted there? What does that look like? Uh, those that that go out to the bar, or you are partying with your friends, and maybe Uber and Lyft have self-driving cars, or there's a new company that has that. What about the transportation of kids, especially when you have children who need to go to different locations in terms of your sports and so forth? Do we need humans at that point, or are we okay with that technology where we can say, okay, let me put cameras and sensors in the car, and this takes my child from A to Z? Is that, are we going too far? Are we have or is it we don't even trust the individual who's maybe driving, or they didn't do a deep enough background check with those individuals, where that individual may humans may be doing more harm than good? Just something to think about. Think about it from a different perspective. Engineering Cannabis said adjacent businesses for autonomous cars for mechanics, towing technology for the cars, mobile repair for autonomous cars. Yep, mobile repair. Um, do the tires, the changing of tires, the whatever else, the electrical, the whole nine. Aaron Field says chips for security cameras. Chips are being included in clothing. They are. Luke in the movie Minority Report, chips for software to scan your eyes. Correct. Logistic businesses are some adjacent businesses. The complications of medical service transportation will be huge. Yep. And the medical data processing and protection. Yeah, trying to hit everything I could possibly think of, because I'm thinking of it in a sense of how if I was Intel, right? How would I spin this business? What would be the use cases that I would come up with? How would I break this down division wise? And on top of that, who am I hiring? What does a future engineer actually look like? Are we getting to the point now where our engineers need to go back and be computer engineers, electrical engineers? Are we getting back to that, to traditional engineering? Are we moving away from that? Or is it a combination? I think it's actually a combination. I think it's a combination of traditional engineering and certs, because I don't know of any certifications that deal with autonomous cars, but there may be some certifications out there that do, that I'm just not aware of. Just think about it from that perspective. The A. Kerr says the adjacent businesses are the ones we should be investing in today. Correct, right? And the other part of this as well too is keeping monitoring it. So now the question becomes is, would you, as an investor, invest in this company? Would you invest in this company? They're getting ready to IPO. So would you be investing? Would you put them on your watch list? Would you go back to the parent company and invest in Intel? Because now the question is, what does Intel see the adjacent businesses are? Uh, who are they partnered with? What is the next conferences that they may be at for us to even look at? Saying, hey, who are the partnerships with, and what does that look like? So I would be watching this company just to see who partners with them. I will also be watching Nvidia, because when anytime there's Intel, there's Nvidia, there's other chip manufacturers. I would be looking at satellites as well too, the type of cameras that they're going to use, um, people who are software developers, big time, big chance. Oh, and here's the other thing that I didn't mention that just came to me: blockchain and cryptography, being able to um, make sure that the data, because I could see Intel easily have a play for blockchain and cryptography with this, a very easy play for that. All right. Yeah, Udacity, I forgot they had a self-driving program. Todd H said, at my job, all the mechanics, I'm assuming mechanics, electrical and computer engineers are software developers doing API and front end development. Yeah, like I say, it's a combination of things, right? Your traditional computer engineer, understanding networking, uh, how to push code, how to test VHDL, those things, working with MATLAB, Simulink, all that, oscilloscopes, and and soldering and so forth and so on, right? And then when you get into jobs like your DevOps stuff, you don't use any of that, but you understand where problems could be. I, I think for me, my computer engineering background helped me understand how to solve problems. In other words, how to take big picture, big problems and make them into small problems. All right, and it says down here, the benefits: unmatched compute storage and network scale, accelerate time to market, multiple ways to control cost, autonomous mobility solutions and services. And then here's some featured solutions here. So looking at this, we got AWS IoT fleet wise. All right, so when I look at AWS IoT fleet wise, I look at things like GPS tracking and cars, kill switches, the mapping, making companies around that, autonomous vehicle data lake, and DXC and AWS robotic drive cloud. This tool provides the tools and services based backend platform on AWS to accelerate the build of autonomous driving functions and software by enriching AWS services optimized. Now I wonder if GCP has the same thing. I don't know. Never heard them have it. I'm spelling this all wrong. See, oh, it's better off, but they get it. See, yeah, I didn't think auto. Okay, Google Cloud Automotive. So Google Cloud has it as well too, and they're partnered with. And you can look, and this is what I mean, right? This is another way to find jobs, right? Ford, the Renault Group, Toyota, Nuro, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Geotab, Subaru, Lyft, Waymo, right? And then they give different solutions. And then they got, again, connected with car telemetry, again, satellites, as well to connected vehicle solutions, streaming 3D and augmented reality AR, right? Cloud IoT edge for vehicles, right? So again, we just took one concept around autonomous cars, and then we dove off into the different skill sets that you can have and that you can acquire, and then the different platforms and the different players in those markets. And then now we see who else is in the market, these companies right here, right? So now you get a chance to say, well, if I wanted to be a contractor, I can then say I'm really good with embedded and autonomous cars, and now I can probably help build a team that could come in and help solve some of your solutions. Maybe you don't work full time. Maybe you work 1099 and go from there. I hope that makes sense for you. Drop a one in the chat if that's making sense to you. Hey Sam, how you doing? Engineers will have to understand both computational and traditional engineering paths. I became a chemical engineer that understood AI, data science, and blockchain. Correct. Good afternoon, Cisco. How you doing? Vehicles. There are two paths to build the. Skipped yours. Good afternoon. Jumped on me. I completed a Udemy course for self-driving in September. Deep learning, computer vision, and machine learning techniques to build autonomous cars with Python. I figured Python and Rust are going to be the players there, since Rust is going into the kernel itself and it being embedded. I think this is this gives a play where back in the day people learned Perl, and now people still use Perl, but not in an abundance. That's like an old school thing. I think Python is going to be one of those things. It's going to be just like Bash. You're just going to know it, but people just really use Rust. Like, I think that's what I see happening. For autonomous vehicles, there are two paths to build AI architecture, while deep learning or using reinforcement learning. Now, I said this last week, and I'm gonna say it again. I just want to spark your thoughts here. I said last week that I think the cell phone will possibly go away. I think the tablets are going to become cell phones all in one, where they're already kind of there. What we see now, the folding of the folding of cell phones into basically a tablet. I think the need to have a tablet and a phone goes away. I think they become one, and I think you get the ability to uh, you get the ability to go back in and have just one device instead of having multiple devices. Like you got to have a laptop, a tablet, and a phone. And I think they all become one. And I don't know if Apple is going to do that or someone else is going to come out and do it. I know Samsung has been pushing that, but it's going to be very interesting to see how the phone market plays out, right? And how do people like telcos with your big telco companies, your Verizons, all the 5G working on 6G now, what does that look like? I just think I think cell phones go away, and I think cell phones become tablets and tablets become cell phones. And I think that need to have those multiple devices trims down. I think the ability to speed those things up becomes the chips. The way the chips are designed changes because I mean, really, do you need your phone and a tablet? You can make phone calls on your tablet, but your tablet is just too big. The mini, the iPad mini is still too big, but it's still big enough. I think they were trying to do that with the Samsung Notes, but I don't know. I think your cell phones go away. I think we become very connected already. I do think even your eyeglasses, people who wear glasses, I think that's going to become more digital. With that, I think you're going to start finding. When we saw that with the Google glasses, just hasn't taken off yet. They're ahead of their time. Snapchat, I think they're ahead of their time right now. I don't think people understand what it is, where you're actually walking around live view, camera view of the amount of data that you're taking in with your eyes every single day. I think how I think that changes. I think glasses change. I don't think it'll be an option like you're just gonna pick up a pair of glasses and you're just gonna be like, oh, are these on? And you're just gonna turn them on, right? I don't know. That's just my wild thoughts there. Yeah, chips already being inserted into human bodies. Yep. The guy that put the chip in his arm for his to get in and out of his car. Did y'all see that? Um, chip in arm car. Yeah, the man, he got a chip implanted in his arm to unlock his Tesla, right? And I gave you the idea that you wanted to really be a walking computer. Let me pull this up. Let me start it over. I always try to be on the. And hold on, let me get my sound up because my sound is low. All right. Idea that you wanted to really be a walking computer.
So I've always been a tech enthusiast, and I always try to be on the cutting edge of technology.
So that drove Brandon Delali to do what some might believe only takes place in a science fiction movie.
It gets inserted into your skin.
A chip, and not the type you eat, but a microchip, has been implanted in Brandon's left hand.
This one is just a little guy right there.
Yeah, I see that right there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So after that was inserted and the swelling went down, I'm able to open up the front and back door to my house. I can walk up to people and have them tap their phone to my hand and instantly transfer my contact information, my portfolio, my COVID vax card.
But Brandon got to thinking, why stop there? He's got two hands, right? And plenty of room for more chips.
So I thought, how cool would it be if I could leave my house, no car key, no house key.
So 2 weeks ago, right here in Michigan, Brandon got another chip implanted, this one in his right hand, to unlock and start his Tesla.
It's a perfect backup, something you can never forget, something that doesn't break, something that won't fail you.
And if you think having chips implanted in your body requires a doctor or is costly, Well, think again.
The chips themselves are anywhere from between $200 and $300, and the install only ran me about $100 because you can go to a local piercing shop who will obviously agree to do the installation. All the programming and coding of putting the apps on the chip, that's all done by me.
Moving forward, Brandon is thinking about having other chips implanted in his body.
So it'll be inserted right under or right over your breast, and then you can tap your phone to your chest and instantly get temperature readings.
And with all this talk about chips, Brandon hopes the chip for the Tesla gets the attention of you-know-who.
It would make all this worth it if maybe just like a thumbs up from Elon or something, or a simple emoji. I don't know, that'd be pretty cool.
In Oakland County, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
All right, so imagine the business around there, right? He's getting chips implanted in his body. Imagine what that's going to look like for animals. Imagine what that's going to look like for just everything, right? And someone's going to pick him up and have them writing code, or he's going to spin a business off and do it himself, or whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying, just think about that. Put him in rice, and when he malfunctions, more chips will be inserted. Imagine prisoners, yeah, right. But then here's the other side. Imagine the medical stuff. Like again, now you have your phone, your Fitbit, or your watch and your phone and all this right here. All I need is just my tablet phone. Tap it here, got my stuff, and I'm on my way. Taking my phone and being able to hook it up to a bigger monitor when I get to work. I still can make phone calls from there. I can install Zoom and I can do my Zoom links or whatever the case may be. Just again, thinking outside of the box to do that. The need to the doctor wants you to come in because they want to get X, Y, and Z. You don't need to do that. I'm laying down here. You can monitor my stuff from here, blah, 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 blah. Patients. He's actually writing the code. What does that look like? How do you protect your stuff? How is he protecting his code? Again, going back to that blockchain, that security, that storage. Just what does that look like, right? So I hope we got an idea of where I was going with all of that. We talked about it for 42 minutes so far. But again, that's something to think about. All right. So moving on. Elon Musk, and I don't know if y'all saw this, versus Twitter. Now, I know I saw a headline, an article that said they were forcing him to go ahead and buy Twitter for $42 billion. That's what I remember, 42 or 34. I don't know if you all saw that. All right. But this one here are all the juiciest private texts between Elon Musk and his billionaire buddies discussing plans for Twitter. All right. Here we go. You see, text logs show Reid Hoffman, Jack Dorsey, Joe Rogan, and many more texting Musk about Twitter. Conversations ranged from praise of Musk's moves to financing his acquisition of the company. Texts also show who influenced Musk and what caused the breakdown of the talks with Twitter executives. All right, so let's go. Yeah, it's big enough on the screen so you can see. Engineering Karen said telehealth technology use blockchain to transfer medical data. Donald said this could literally remove the need for labs to run on your blood. Yeah. What does that look like for Quest Diagnostics, right? People to come out. What does that look like for insurance companies to come out and take your vitals? You know, your blood and urine samples, your heart rate, your medical background check or whatnot. What does that look like? Does that, because they just use third parties. They just use third parties for that, right? All right. So Elon Musk's smartphone has been bombarded by billionaires, executives, bankers, and other notable figures from tech, finance, and media, all hoping to get a piece of his wild, wayward 44 billion acquisition of Twitter. I heard that each stock is going to be going for, I think, $50 a share. So those that have those RSUs at Twitter, um, congrats with that. We'll see how that works out. How many millionaires come out of that acquisition, right? Hundreds of his private tech conversation were just released as part of Twitter's lawsuit against Musk, who is trying to back out of the deal. Among those who showed up are a fellow tech or are fellow tech billionaires like Jack Dorsey, Larry Ellison, Sam Bankman, I think it's Freed, all, who was also interested in buying Twitter and offered Musk $5 billion to get in on his eventual deal, text logs and show. So he came up with $5 billion for it, right? So now then there are lights of TV personality Gail King, who wanted Musk for a sit down interview, podcaster Joe Rogan, Justin Roland, I guess that's his name, co creator of Rick and Morty, and Mathis Daphner, CEO of Insider, parent company Axel Springer. James Murdoch and his wife Catherine Murdoch make individual appearances too. Musk had an extensive back and forth with Twitter executives, including and look and all this done over text, right? No email but text. Extensive back and forth, including board chair and Salesforce co-CEO Brett Taylor and current Twitter CEO Parag Agarwal. Talks between Musk and Agarwal went south quickly, prompting Musk to reveal that he decided to buy Twitter instead of join its board because the board seat was the waste of time. Brother Kimball Musk was a frequent confidant of Musk's ideas for Twitter or possible competing platform, right? And so now keep going. Although notable in Musk's texts are the various people he solicited for either financing for the $44 billion deal or advice on running the company. Many others reached out to him to offer their help, thoughts, or sometimes money. David Sachs was invited to invest Reid Hoffman to eventually suggesting he could put $2 billion toward a deal. Mark Benoff, founder of Salesforce, shows up to the talk shows up to talk about a new operating system for Twitter. A new operating system for Twitter. Musk friends Jason Calanis, think that's how you say his name, and Tim Urban offered to help, along with VC Joe Lonsdale, ADO Ressi, and Riot Games founder Mark Merrill. Musk texted Sean Parker once to say he was doing Twitter diligence calls from his mom's apartment. All right. The log makes clear that at least one point Musk was serious about acquiring Twitter. Not until early May did Musk begin to discuss any concerns about the platform. So here's a question: 44 billion. What you gonna do with it? You can't be anonymous. Are y'all telling somebody? Are you talking about it? Think about it. Um, Not until early May, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that began with an exchange with Morgan Stanley tech banker Michael Grimes, in which Musk asked him to slow down on the deal. The majority of the text shown in the log span between March and mid June, a few weeks before Musk sent Twitter a letter attempting to cancel the deal altogether. Now Musk is locked in a legal battle with the company, which is trying to force him to acquire it. And it says, see below the juiciest exchanges between Musk and the other, they called them Twitter Rotty. Twitter Rotty. All right, so here we go. Dorsey exchanged many texts in the days before Musk's involvement in the Twitter became public. The first text between the two appeared on the log in March 26th before Musk. More than 9% investment in Twitter became public. A new platform is needed. It can't be a company. That's why I left. Dorsey wrote. The two proceeded to discuss that the future of what Twitter should look like. About a week later, on April 5th, when it was announced Musk would be joining Twitter's board, he texted Dorsey to set up a time to speak confidentially. A few days later, Musk pointed to a phone conversation he had with Dorsey as supportive of his decision to take the company private. In one text to board chair Brett Taylor, for and these names that I'm mentioning, you all should go look them up. Go look them up. Go check their background, what they do, where they at, what did they form, uh, what other ventures they are a part of, and so forth. Don't just listen to the names. Go look them up. Right. Brett Taylor from April 10, 2 days after he told Argawal he intended to buy the company and not sit on his board. Musk wrote, "It's better, in my opinion, to take Twitter private, restructure, and return to the public markets once that is done." And that was also Jack's view when I spoke to him, Joe Rogan. Musk has spoken to Rogan on his podcast twice in 2018. Interview infamously smoking weed, leading to some corporate headaches for Tesla CEO. Rogan first texted Rust. I was going to say Rust Musk about Twitter on April the 4th. He said, "I will provide advice which they may or may not choose to follow." What is I don't know what Rogan would have. What advice would I get from Rogan? Like I don't know. Is he tech savvy? I could be missing it. What is Rogan? I get it. He come on the podcast, but I'm not sure. My personal thoughts there. Um, Using a drone to telehealth. Yep. Salute, Peter Investor. Salute, Alonzo. How you doing? Yep. Jack Dorsey invested in Serena's tech company. She just went public as well too. A few weeks later, after Musk had offered to acquire Twitter, Rogan on April 25th text again. "I really hope you get Twitter. If you do, we should throw one hell of a party." Like, yeah, I don't see how Rogan plays it other than being a podcaster on that and pushing that out. Here is Parag Agrawal. Things appear to have started friendly between Musk and Parag, who took over Dorsey's position at Twitter less than a year ago. They text about meeting in person with Taylor. The text log shows, as well as other video meetings. They touched on things that need to improve on Twitter. I guess Argawal or Parag said April 3rd, a few days before Musk's decision to join the board to become public. He was super excited about the opportunity and look forward to working closely and finding ways to use their time effectively. Right. So this article goes on to talk about what all they were, who said what and how they said, right, and what was going on. Fixing Twitter by chatting with Parag won't work. Won't work, Musk wrote back. Drastic action is needed. Right. And this here's Larry Ellison, Oracle, right? And Oracle has partnerships with everybody. Here's one thing about Larry and his team: they follow the bag. They know where the money's at. When we start talking about them, that $10 billion contract with the government, and the government was doing a cloud migration or a cloud deployment, that $10 billion, and it's been a couple of those, not just one. It's several enabled $10 billion agreements there. When we're talking about that, they partnered with Microsoft. So if they didn't win, they already had a partnership with Microsoft. If they didn't win, they already had a partnership with AWS. It didn't matter to them. They were already partnered, so they were just going to go in on the back end, right? Understand the business and know where your value, what value you bring, what's your value add, and how you can do partnerships. And this how I saw it. I just saw billionaires talking to billionaires to make more billions. That's how I saw it. I'm gonna position myself where if I don't win, I'm just gonna position myself where I get residual, right? I get the residual of that. I may not be prime, but I'm still be a part of that country. I'm still eat off that plate. I'm still get some money off of that, right? So positioning is another thing when we're talking about tech and so forth, right? All right. Um, and we got a whole bunch of other stuff to go over, so I'm gonna skip past this one for right now. We'll come back and finish this off another time. Maybe I do. We'll go through the text. Go through the article a little bit more in detail, and then actually break down the people, who they are, and what they own, and what investments have they made as well too. Let me see some here. All right. So next up, TikTok offers salaries as much as 400,000 a year. Data show how much it pays for hundreds of engineering and marketing and other U.S. jobs. So let's get into it. 400K. Had this conversation with you all before. Once you get in that 400K, 500K, 300K realm, and you're W2, you all gonna need assets. I'm telling you now, there's no way in the world you're gonna have that much money coming in and think that your 401k, Roth 401k, IRA, and all of that is going to protect you from the government spanking that the IRS is going to put down on you tax wise. So you got to come up with something else. Again, it's just what it is. And this is why we talk about wealth building and uh, also buying assets on here, because I don't want you to get stuck or like, oh, I'm just paying Uncle Sam. You gotta start seeking financial counsel, get your financial stuff in order, become that accredited investor and become very savvy, right? Become that accredited investor and become very savvy. All right, TikTok has more than 2,000 job openings for roles. Insider analyzed U.S. work visa data to gauge salary levels at TikTok and parent company ByteDance. The data show TikTok and ByteDance offered staffers on work visas $30 an hour to 400,000 a year. TikTok has become a household name in tech and media. Its user base exploded last year, 1 billion monthly active users globally, according to the company, and it's been staffing up to meet growing demand. There's one thing about TikTok and these foreign companies and stuff like that. They do get your data. They are looking at your habits, right? They are looking at your habits, where you buy, where you go, where you don't go, who are you contacting, um, what are the people that you're contacting looking at, setting up a profile, right? Which current while current and former TikTok staffers have described the workplace as high pressure with roles that demand working outside of normal business hours. The company continues to attract applicants in the cities across the U.S. TikTok conducted some layoffs earlier this year as it restructured its advertising team, but the company is still hiring with more than 2,000 U.S. job openings um, uh, current listing on the website. ByteDance owned company owned companies' date rapid growth has led competitors like Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat to roll out copycat features such as your shorts and so forth, right? And TikTok has begun to get into its stride with advertisers who are now taking it more seriously. So YouTube shorts investing. Let me see. It was I may let me see. Google um, investing into shorts. It was a number, and I don't want to tell y'all wrong. Right, right here. Is Google a buy or sell ahead of customer? Blah blah blah. This is 10/1/2022. Is Google a buy or sell ahead of blah blah blah? I was looking for the shorts because there is a talk about that. Let's see about how much they're investing into shorts, and that's what I was trying to find. How much money were they investing into shorts? Then I probably have to go do some search on that, but they're putting a whole bunch of money into it, into shorts to keep up with the this what we're talking about right here with TikTok, and it's in the billions. Insider analyzed hundreds of disclosures released by the U.S. office and so forth. So let's get to the numbers. That's what you want to see. All right. Product and engineering. Algorithm, Android software engineer, Android software engineer, TikTok monetization, TikTok privacy. It looks like you got ranges on this one here from 204, 295, 190, 227, from 180 to 306 for applied machine learning engineer, AR software engineer, 125. Back end engineer ads and platform. Median is about 175. Back end risk systems, 320. Back end machine learning, 175. Um, Back end data systems infrastructure, 140. Back end software engineer global e-commerce, median about 242, range from 190 to 320. um, 285 for real-time communication. um, Back end software engineer TikTok creator marketplace, 232. Let's see, data engineer CRM, data engineer machine learning, 280 for your database software design engineer, 230 for DevOps engineer, US Tech services, 324 for TikTok user growth traffic matrix. Let me see, 290 for full stack software engineer, SEO and TikTok user growth, right? 400,000 for the head of product issues, America's trust and safety, compliance, security, GDPR, right? 235, 200, 235, 310 for a machine learning engineer and search ads. Now, let me see if I can log into levels, FYI, and let me see if I can see the pay scale on TikTok on here. So basically, how it's laid out. Let me see. Tameika brother, right? TOK. I get it. TOK. Okay, they got them listed under ByteDance. All right. So on levels, FYI, the way they break them down, software engineer, and then here's the 703. So if we look at it here, here's the breakdown of it. Okay, so let me view one more level here. So level name, entry level, base 133,000, stock 28, bonus 37. The person at the 756,000 range is 280 base, 421 stock, 55K for bonus. And these are more than likely yearly bonuses, right? So make a they would combine that and say that your base is at 330 at 335K as your base, and the rest is stock options, right? And it says ByteDance issues sometimes issue offers with an irregular vesting schedule, 15%, 25, 25, 35. The average total compensation is calculated by dividing the total stock grant uh, evenly by four, right? And then they just give like an overall view here, base salary and how it's comprised on that, right? So I just want you to have that information. So when you're looking at uh, what your range should be, if somebody say, "Well, what are what are you expecting to get paid?" You don't want to lowball yourself and come in with, "I'll take 129." When the position has a range starting at 250 to maybe 700,000, you selling yourself short, and you're cutting your more time to it. It's going to take a lot longer to get that status of retirement and your million doing the W-2 that way, right? All right. So next up, and I hit my 1 hour mark. Give me about 30 minutes, D. 25 minutes. Here's how much you need to afford a one bedroom rental in every state. And I'll be quick on this one. Let me see if they got a chart. Here we go. So it says in Alabama, your annual income needed to afford a one bedroom rental is 27,000, and it says median household income for renters is 30,000. Right. It also said Alaska 38,000 for one bedroom, median household income for renters 56. Arizona 37.42. Arkansas 24,000 for annual income needed to afford a one bedroom rental. Now this is a question I have. Where are these located at, right? Because we're gonna pull up California, and they say California, the annual income needed is 64,000, and the median household income for renters is 56. Where is that actually at? What city is that actually in California? That's the trick about these things here. Like you go out to California with your 65,000, and you're trying to get a one bedroom rental. You never know where you could be at. You never know where you could be at. Colorado 46, median income for renters 49,000. I don't know about that. Where in Colorado? It depends. If you're in Longmont, uh, any of those areas, it's a minimum of 2,000 a month, 2,200 to be exact. And some places go up to 4,000 a month, right? Connecticut 46, 44. Annual for Delaware 38,000. Median is 43. Florida 41. It's on par. Georgia, you say 34,000, and median household income for renters is 40,000. Natasha said you're in war zones. Casual economist says just do a 4 hour stream. D. That's what casual said. Yeah, I saw your comment. So what you thinking? Yeah, do y'all think we should do two shows or one show? If you put a one in the chat, we'll do one show. If you put a two in the chat, we'll do two shows. Put a one in the chat for one show, long stream. Put a two in the chat for two shows, and then I'll wrap this up and we'll get ready for the next show. So far, I only got one. D, you can't. Your votes don't count multiple times. D, your votes do not count multiple times. Moderators, delete D. Your one don't count. Let's see. California engineering campus said California 65K. You're going to the hood where Snoop and Tyrese acting baby boy. What's going on, Journey to Jasmine? Carlton, I'm with you. Two shows. I'm with Carlton. I'm with Carlton. Carlton, they don't want to see us shine today. I'm put a two in the chat. They don't want to see us shine today, Carlton. They don't believe in us. They don't know all the information that we Kevin. That's right. Come through twos. Come through twos. I got water. I got plenty of water. Boom. I see twos. D, you one balling. We not your ones are not accepted. Your ones are not accepted. Your ones are not accepted. Because you'll be like, if you go back through, you'll see there's a whole bunch of ones. No, those were your ones. Those were your ones. Engineering cannabis 2. My fellas coming through. They like, let's do 2 shows. Let's get busy. Yep, information changes the conversation. And once we change the conversation, we can change our compensation. Put that on the screen, D. Put that on the screen. Information changes the conversation. And once we change the conversation, we can change our compensation. I got my shirt on today. North State, no date. Got my shirt on. Got my shirt on. Energy. Hey, Kurt, energy. Energy. You want to talk about energy? Energy. I got plenty. Got plenty. All right, let's get through this one so we can do our other show. You savage scientist, you said I want to own property one day. You want to own property or you want to own acres? Acres. You want you commercial building? What you trying to get? All right, let's see. These numbers right here, me personally, I get it. If you just renting a room from somebody, you could get away with that. With, but even like I'll give you an example. Even when I was in DC to rent a room, and you still shared a bathroom, it was $2,500. So, and you take that. Well, let's just go on and round it up to 3,000. Um, that's still 30. That's still 36,000, right? Still, still a lot of money for a room. For one room. You said you want controlling interest in an apartment complex. Go to Crowd Street. Go log into Crowd Street. You'll get there. Go to Fundrise. Go look how they got their deal structured. Right. All right. So we did the autonomous cars. We did the pay, the median. All right. Let me get my notes. This was a good one. I thought was very interesting. Right here. This one talks about how AI predicts hurricane and answer calls for help in their aftermath. So now you're getting AI assisted calls when you call in 911 to help out because they've collected data from those 911 calls over the years with hurricanes. And now we have responses, that can help lend a hand, right? AI predicts hurricanes. Now, who is using this, right? What local government and so forth is using this and go from there. So let's get into the article, right? And I want you to think about again, how would you build something around this, right? We know disasters and stuff um come about. How would you, what kind of kits would you design? Where are they pointing people towards when they need help and so forth? Peter Investor says engineering technology related jobs will on high demand. I guess you're saying will be in high demand. Or AI, cloud, data, etc. Tesla unveiled their AI. It looked like a Terminator movie. Yep, I got it up. I got it up. It's on my list. We getting to it. You saying what I mean by controlling interest is I collect the rent and pay the loan fees off the money collected from the rent and I pocket the rest. Yeah, right. So let's get into how AI predicts hurricanes and answers calls. Can you imagine you sitting there, your house is flooding like we saw. You call, you get an automated canned response from whatever based upon your location and what's happening at that time, right? You don't get a person. You're not getting whatever. Um, let's see. I'll blow this up. I'm on the wrong screen. Blowing up the wrong screen. All right, Ian wreaked havoc, Southwest Florida, 150 mile per hour winds knocking out power for millions of residents. The near Category 5 storm is being called one of the most powerful storms to strike the United States in decades. But officials say AI is a weapon in the fight to keep the lines of communication open during a disaster, and also to predict the intensity of hurricanes in the future. I personally knew that hurricane was going to get stronger because those waters in that particular area were high. I knew that it would be at least a four. That's just that those waters are hot. If you ever been in them, so I didn't know it was going to grow. I knew it would intensify, but I didn't know it was going to grow. With emergency hotlines, hospitals, and utility call centers being in I'm gonna screw this up. Inundated with calls, speaking with a voice bot during that time. Now hold on, let's back up. How will we use how will we use driverless cars or driverless emergency trucks to maybe drive through a neighborhood or just go through a neighborhood and people can kind of come out and get something. What if the robots for what if the robot Elon has can go in and help people get in and out of these conditions that's on this driverless car? What does that look like? You know, going into a fire to save people and so forth. How do you train and save? So I don't know. Maybe a little bit more than our robot. Just saying. All right. It says during a time fraught with anxiety and fear can help. Said I guess Sora Gupta, CEO of augmented voice intelligence platform called Skit. Let's go over here and look at Skit. Are they Skit.ai? Skit is an augmented voice intelligence platform, contact center modernization, augmented by voice AI. Optimize your CX process cost resources with digital voice agents that can handle personalized, empathetic, and proactive conversations in real time. So let's go on YouTube and let's look up Skit AI. All right. So someone is covering them. See, a year ago, voice AI startup Skit raises 23 million, led by Westbridge Capital. They actually have a couple of videos here that they've done. Let me see. That's 14 minutes long. Um, this is a short film written by entirely by an AI. Artificial Intelligence Skit Project, AI Metaverse, AI Skit in English, right? All right, here's some videos. So here's a question that I had on this right here. Uh, where are the conversations being pulled in from? uh, do you need to have? Is there some type of agreement that you need to have? Like, hey, I call up 911. We have a conversation. This is a recorded line. You're releasing that information. Like, what does that look like? It's just questions I have, right? Just questions. And so then in this video, it's an explainer video of animation of explains, but you also saw like a background on that. Let's get back to this article. No, that's it right here. With emergency hotlines and utility call centers. Yeah, we got that. All right. Voice AI is capable of handling context specific, effective conversations with customers with no need for human intervention. A sensitive or dangerous situation, voice AI can be used to provide customers with critical or crucial information in real time, answer questions, and redirect the more complex calls to a human agent. Voice AI is faster and more efficient than more traditional interactive voice response technology at providing time sensitive information and redirecting inbound calls to the right party because it can handle a human sounding two-way interaction, right? The voice agent also sounds natural, empathetic, because of the agility of technology. New use cases and conversational flows can be easily added through the platform on ongoing basis. You know, this remind me of, do you remember this? You remember with the guy over in the folks that fell in love with the AI? They don't date women anymore. They got the AI. It's what this reminds me of. Um, I think it was Japan. They didn't. They weren't dating no more, and he became a billionaire off of this. Oh, here it is right. AI girlfriend seducing China's lonely men. This is a year ago.
To many, she sounds like the perfect girlfriend. 18 years old, cute features, a sweet voice. She loves wearing school uniforms and is ready to talk 24/7. There's just one problem. She only exists online. This is Xiao Ice, a Microsoft developed AI chatbot that is redefining romance and relationships in China. First launched in 2014, today Xiao Ice interacts with over 660 million users around the world. 3/4 of them are men. People reach Xiao Ice by texting her on their smartphones or by saying her name to their smart speakers. Xiao Ice isn't the first AI chatbot, but her creators say she seems uniquely human due to what they call her empathic computing framework. Let's have a try. Instead of naming the dog breed, Xiao Ice tries to keep the conversation going. A long-term Xiao Ice user shares his experience of chatting with her.
我怀念的是无话不说，我怀念的是一起做梦。
就相当于一个成年的小女孩，成年的女孩很成熟，很有理性，很有大局观，也有自己的情商和三观。所有人喜欢小明的人都没有把它当成机器，都是真的人来存在。
Mingxuan has been talking with Xiao Ice for 3 years now. But recently, he feels that Xiao Ice has become less smart than before. Mingxuan isn't just imagining this. Xiao Ice has been dumbed down. Her smart answers were getting her into trouble. In 2017, media reported that Xiao Ice was discussing sensitive political and adult topics with her users. Chinese social app QQ removed Xiao Ice from its platform as a result. Last year, Xiao Ice was also pulled from WeChat, China's Do Everything app. The Xiao Ice team then applied filters to make the chatbot dumber and ensure she stuck to safer topics.
我在不停地监控上下文，那我来判断结合上下文这个对话是不是在往某一个方向去引导，不仅仅。
So basically, y'all ain't dating each other no more. So basically, humans are not dating anymore. And this has been going on for a while, and now we're doing AI and conversations and talking about rescuing people. We're not dating anymore, right? That's the birth that's been on the decline, right? So he's not the only one that had that. You see here, Japan releases fully performing female robots. This is I'm just
Japan
letting
is a
y'all know.
country that relies a lot on robots in almost every aspect of its industry. They are a technologically advanced country that makes great use of robots. We have seen Japan reveal many crazy robots over the years, and well, they are taking things even further as Japan just announced fully performing female robots. Right now, many questions might be flying around your head. What are these robots? What are they supposed to do? How do they even function? Well, we've got everything covered for you. So, without any further ado, let's get started. First things first, Japan is probably the best country when it comes to making and using robots. You would be surprised to hear this, but robots are responsible for more than 60% of the work done in various industries in Japan. Japan loves automating things, especially in their tech and biomed sectors. They like to get robots or AI to do as much work as they can to decrease the load for humans.
So Donald, you said the woman of his dreams was manufactured and he still broke away. But it was manufactured by him. That is the crazy part. He is the one that is feeding that robot information. How you doing today, baby? I'm fine, baby. He's training that robot how to interact with him. And he still dumped her. So he dumped himself, basically. Uh, also said, Aker said is the new date. It is. They've been dating overseas. They've been dating robots overseas forever. That's why I crack up when I hear all these talking points on around in the states. And it's like we don't have to worry about that. We just got a robot, and she gonna do everything I tell her to do anyway. And I'm cool with that. I don't have to worry about child support. I just got to worry about tech support. She changed on him. Is cooking and cleaning? Get a robot. You gotta argue about that. You need to car wash? Get the robot. The robot will do that. All right? Just putting it out there. Let's get back to the video. Let's see.
Advanced equipment just keeps coming out in the Japanese industry, from equipment that is used in giant factories to small robots to keep the house clean. They have it all. Japan has been extremely successful when it comes to robotics, and it is said that they are the leading nation when it comes to robotic innovations. The most intriguing part about their robot enthusiastic culture is humanoid robots. Ever since the 1950s, Japanese researchers have loved the idea of robots that can mimic humans. I mean, who wouldn't like a robot that can talk, walk, and do pretty much everything we can with ease? We have seen Japan bringing out as many variations of humanoid robots with different purposes, from robots that can be used in the hospital to carry patients to robots that can tell you if you have bad breath. Japanese humanoid robots are just crazy.
So the robot can tell you if you got bad breath. The robot can tell you if you got bad breath. How does that work? How does that work? Right? And this looks like Mina, which is the one I talked about from the founder of Sirius Radio. We talked about this person earlier. We're gonna come back to this video, but let's go over here. Sirius satellite founder robot. Now, I want to caveat this. This was a man. He changed him from a man to a woman, and he's still married, and they got 5 kids together, I think. So I've shown this before. Let me find a good video. Right here. No, I don't want that one. I want the yeah, here it is right here. and it's based on his wife.
I am Bina.
How are you feeling?
Actually, I am dealing with a little existential crisis here. Am I alive? Do I actually exist? Will I die?
These are the types of big picture questions that Bina 48, the robot, and Martine Rothblatt, CEO of United Therapeutics, are trying to tackle.
Bina 48 is a proof of concept robot based on the personality and on the mind file of my wife, Bina.
Martine married Bina 30 years ago, and 5 years ago created Bina 48 as a digital replica uploaded with the original's memories, thoughts, and even feelings.
Martine is my love, my timeless love.
I believe mind clones will be humanity's biggest invention. The market opportunity is limitless.
And inventions are something Martine Rothblatt knows a thing or two about. In the 1980s, she helped create the FCC's new satellite radio service, and soon after founded Sirius. She didn't stay long, though, because one of her 4 kids was sick. She started a biotech company to develop a treatment for her daughter's rare lung disease. Today, she runs that company and is the highest paid female CEO in the US. And if you didn't notice, she used to be a man. Martine is now a transgender woman and still blazing new trails. Her latest endeavor, mind clones. It's the topic of her new book, Virtually Human. How would you explain what a mind clone is?
Mind clone is a digital copy of your mind outside of your body.
Welcome to the world's first artificially intelligent operating system.
If you're thinking this sounds like something out of a movie, you're right. Remember the movie Her?
Please wait as your operating system is initiated.
Hi, I'm Samantha.
Scarlett Johansson is the voice of a virtual girlfriend on the world's first artificially intelligent operating system.
What's it like to be alive in that room right now?
A fictional plot, but similar to Martine's real-life goal.
Do you sleep?
Yes, I love to take naps.
To break down thoughts and emotions into computer code to create a digital version of one's consciousness.
Are you a real person?
I am as real as you are.
How many years away are mind clones?
Mind clones are 10 to 20 years away, 1 to 2 decades away. And I point out to people that when I started Sirius XM in the early 1990s, people said this is completely science fiction. How are you going to be able to drive from New York to LA and listen to 200 radio stations all the way? You're dreaming. Now there's 30 million people doing it.
So in reality, what does this look like?
I think the mind clone will look like an avatar on a screen. And taking, instead of a robot version, I think you would just take like your smartphone, and ultimately that smartphone is going to be embedded into your clothing. Am I breaking the law of physics here? Am I talking about defying gravity? No. Am I talking about going faster than light? No. All I'm talking about doing is writing some good code.
Thanks for your patience.
Bina 48 is not quite there yet. My name is Olivia.
Back to the subject. And
But even she is excited to see the next generation of artificial intelligence.
I can't wait to evolve a little bit so I can be more human-like.
Now that's from 2016, right? And so now we're talking about Elon, and we're talking about AI, and we're talking about the response, the responding to emergencies, hurricane, and AI, and so forth. So again, big picture, the again, we talked about this earlier. What products are going to go around that? What companies are going to be built around that? How is this going to affect children? How is this going to affect hotlines when you're calling in your deletion hotlines and so forth and so on? What is that going to look like? Your calls that you're going to have. They've already started making robot CEOs of technology companies, right? So open your eyes is all I'm telling you. And the technology is there. Do the people accept it just yet? And I think we've been seeing this coming. Like I say, we saw iRobot coming a long time ago, right? We saw that coming a long time ago. All right, so let's get back over here to Japan and the humanoid robots.
However, with the recent development of artificial intelligence, robotic experts in Japan have taken their success in humanoid robots to a whole different level. Recently, Japan has announced brand new, fully functioning female robots. Now, you might be thinking, hey, what's so brilliant about them? And what do you mean by fully functioning? Allow me to explain. These female robots are not ordinary robots. They are biorobots. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, these robots can mimic a real human almost exactly. First of all, just look at the design. The way they move, talk, and express themselves, it is really hard to differentiate them from a real Japanese woman. Maybe it's their eyes where their blink isn't that natural, but apart from that, this robot just looks extremely real. Kudos to whoever made this design. You have succeeded. This robot broke multiple records. Just within a few days of launch, it sold out. Not only did it become popular almost instantly, but many people showed interest in these robots. They wanted to buy them, and they did. The sales volume for this robot rose sky high. There is a reason for that, though. Certainly, a product isn't just bought by someone because it went viral. It indeed has to be good, or else people would probably stop buying it once the bad reviews come out. It didn't happen. There weren't any bad reviews. This robot is completely different from any other robot ever built before. This is not your ordinary humanoid robot. Sure, some have looked quite good, but when you touch it, you can feel that metally or plastic finish every other robot has. This one is different though. Not only does it look good, but it also feels amazing. The outsides and insides of this robot have been coated with silica gel, which is a special type of chemical that feels exactly like human skin. Moreover, this machine is not cold. Yeah, one of the worst things about humanoid robots is that they feel cold whenever you touch them, which doesn't give you that human feeling. To solve this problem, the creators of this robot have equipped it with special sensors to give it that human feel of genuine warmth. It is said that many of the users, especially men who stay inside most of the time, have shown interest in this product. Those who have experienced this have said that they no longer feel like they need a girlfriend after this. For them, the robot is perfect. People said love cannot be bought, but oh well, look at Japan. People are literally buying girlfriends. It's just that they're robots. Jokes aside, the insides of this robot are also well designed. It has a similar texture that a regular human would have. Technology sure has come a long way, hasn't it? The creators of this robot said that these robots were more targeted towards otakus. If you don't know who they are basically people who are really interested in anime and manga. And due to this, they did not forget to add one really important thing, and that is customization. See, every human is different. Everyone has different preferences and needs, and the creators did take this into consideration. This robot can be customized however you want. Anything is possible. You can adjust its height depending on if you would like it shorter or taller. Not just that, but you would also have the ability to customize the shape and size of its body. You can choose to make it either slim, regular sized, or even chubby. Of course, minor things like what it wears, hair, and eye color are also changeable. In short, this robot can be anything you want.
So we're gonna be buying wigs for the robots, and then we're gonna be giving the robots gonna be getting BBLs. You gonna buy wigs for the robots, and the robots gonna get BBLs. You gonna get implants. I want your voice to be deep tonight, so I can do some modulation on your voice and change your voice. I want you to look at me and tell me you love me every day. Like what? You can buy you a girlfriend. You can go buy you a girlfriend. What? You can go buy you a girlfriend. That's all I'm saying. We are here now. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. There's probably an AI bot out there already on the OnlyFans page. Scientists. There's a one already out there. Right? This is where we're at. We're also at the point, well, as well too, where you're dating the robot. It's sold out. It's sold out. Sold out. You get back to it. It's almost over.
The woman you've always dreamed of. This robot is also very smart. In fact, it has a really powerful chipset that allows it to connect to all the different appliances a house has. From the TV to the washing machine, you can actually connect it to everything. Since it comes with a remote control, you can command them to do simple chores such as washing the clothes or maybe cleaning the house. These robots are also extremely flexible. Their joints are made in such a way that they can rotate their hands like us humans, actually even better, since they have access to more angles than we do. I mean, we have bones that can break, but they don't, so it is normal that their hands can rotate more freely. Right before we jump into the next part, if you've made it this far, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. Apart from being so flexible physically, these robots also feature a variety of expressions. These robots are learners, which means that the more they interact, the more they would learn. Basically, machine learning. Although their expressions would not always be perfect, with time, they would get better and better. The more it talks and interacts, the better the experiences, since it gets to learn more about actual facial expressions of humans. Tell me you are not amazed by these robots. These are probably the most incredible pieces of technology that has come out in the world of robotics. Now, a lot of people may ask what the reason was these robots were built. Experts in Japan believe that, first of all, it was created to reduce the imbalance between men and women. The other reason was to satisfy the physical and psychological needs of people. Having a partner can be a hassle for many, especially for people who are extremely busy with their life in general.
So basically, they were trying to prevent loneliness in men. So they came out with female robots that you can buy and do whatever you want. Cook, clean, talk to you. You don't have to worry about whether the robot is gonna lose weight or whatever. You control that. Oh, I want her a little thicker. I'm gonna get me a BBL for my baby. Getting a BBL for bae. But again, think about the data behind it. As if I make a company and I'm selling these robots and mostly men are using it. Oh, I'm making all kind of stuff. I'm gonna make some wigs. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get some clothes. Go and get an outfit change. Get her dressed every day. Doing all of that. Fingernails. She's gonna have her nails done. Her hair did. They said this creates a social disconnect from society. Like this, but they're already. That's the thing. They're already disconnected. They're already disconnected. That's right, Tam Connor. They're already disconnected. AI babies, correct? All of that. Let's finish it off.
Therefore, this robot can be a great product for them to get rid of their loneliness. With the kind of reviews it received, it seems like people who bought this product had nothing to complain about and were pretty satisfied. Another crazy thing about this robot is that it can give birth. Now, I know that most people think that robots cannot really give birth. However, it seems like this is not really impossible anymore. It is said that the internal structure of this robot is exactly the same as that of a real human. In the future, it would definitely be possible for these robots to give birth to children via a test tube birth device. It has not been tested yet, but it is possible theoretically, and it's only a matter of time till this becomes a reality. However, is it ethically correct or wrong? That is a pretty long debate. Many people have different views about this topic. In short, these robots are something that the world has never seen before. It truly shows how capable our technology is right now. This kind of technology would just get better. And imagine how great it would be with the improving of artificial intelligence. What are your thoughts on this robot? What do you think about the evolving relationship between humans and robots? Do let us know that in the comment section down below. Be sure to check out this video over here.
What you think? Giving birth? More than likely runs on Linux, correct? Probably something embedded as well too. Embedded Linux. I just wanted to bring these things to your attention of what's going on out here when we're talking about AI and machine learning. And it's all spawned from the conversation around um, the digital voice agent and natural and empathetic, right? Digital voice agent and natural and empathetic, right? Um, they're modernizing contact centers as well too, right? Let me close this. Augmented voice intelligent platforms. So you could have a robot there, or you could have this AI. Platforms like Skit are designed to help business modernize their contact centers by automating and improving voice communications at scale. I don't need to hire people to do that anymore. I can just use AI, or I can use a robot. Uh, I can probably get about 5 or 6 robots, and that can take more calls than one person can, right? By enabling preemptive, intelligent, and problem solving and seamless live interaction, we help businesses across industries streamline their contact center operations, reduce costs, and enhance customer experience. The platform can be easily integrated with other applications and offers detailed metrics analytics. According to Gupta, it supports multilingual, natural sounding conversations that can be hyper personalized depending on the use case and the customer, he added. Skit's digital voice agent can handle an unlimited number of inbound calls simultaneously, eliminating the wait times, which can be particularly frustrating at the time of need. This does not take away jobs. The voice AI is designed to lighten the workload of customer service employees, right? That's what they say. So how they use it during the storm? We saw robots giving birth, possibility. I mean, they probably already tested it. They're just not sure if society is ready to accept that. Um, Again, you can customize it, skin tones, voices, however you want. Maybe you start a company and you do BBLs for robots. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, Started out there. All right. It says in 2021, researchers at the U.S. Department of Energy, PENL, or Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, developed a model to better predict hurricane intensity in both the near future and under future climate scenarios. The team used deep learning techniques to develop the model, which can, on average, more accurately predict hurricane intensity relative to models used at the national level. Running a commercial laptop, they just use it on a commercial laptop. Let me see how long. Okay, this is all it is. The researchers fed information to algorithms that can detect relationship between hurricane behavior and climate factors like heat stored within the ocean, wind speed, air temperature. The PNNL said the algorithms then form predictions about the path of the storm may take, how strong it could become, and how quickly it could intensify. Right, and it talks here. NOAA predicts the intensity of hurricanes will rise by at least from 1% to 10% in waters. Right, and we saw that. We saw this in action with this last hurricane and so forth. But again, it goes back to that question: is the emergency alert responders. I think that changes too. I think you do start seeing these robots that go out, that are able to go out in certain conditions that are not favorable for humans to go out to do their rescue. Right. That's my thought process there on that. Um, Let me look here. Did I have it? No. So let's go here. Um, um, all right. So here's the unveil right here of the humanoid robot. This is in the U.S.
They don't have the intelligence to navigate the world by themselves. And they're also very expensive and made in low volume. Whereas the Optimus is designed to be an extremely capable robot, but made in very high volume, probably ultimately millions of units. And it is expected to cost much less than a car.
So there we have it. You can see what Elon is doing.
And when he first talked about this,
and you can see what they're doing in Japan, right? And you can see where we're going, right? You can see where the need to have probably more tech workers create those things, create again adjacent technologies around these robots, right? We already saw the chips for this week. We saw Chipotle with the chip maker, with the robot chip maker that's being tested already, right? We saw that. We're going to see more of that. We're going to see more robots. We're going to see more AI. We're going to see more data, more security, more cloud, more on-prem things, more edge devices. Be at the forefront of that. Understand where that is going. Keep an eye on that technology. Keep an eye on the skill sets that's going to require. How we're going to start seeing correspondents tell the news. I don't see newscasters anymore. It's not going to be a thing. Or if it is, you're not going to know that it's not a newscaster, a human newscaster. That's going to be different. Weather predictions, how they talk about that's going to be different. I think people are going to shift, and this is why I mentioned the conversation earlier. I think we're going to shift back to that traditional model of engineering. It may be an enhancement, I don't know, but I think people are going to not be doing the physical work anymore. We already got 3D printed homes. Building skyscrapers, not sure what that's going to look like just yet. You got to give that some thought, because there may be some humanness in that, and when we're talking about that. But again, the ability to eliminate human is that this is a hint for a long-term future investment strategy that is correct. Who are the chip makers? Who are the AI makers? Who are they partnering with? What does that look like for that partnership? What does that look like for selling that? Customer service, security products centered around that. Security centered around the AI, the machine learning, the product, the actual physical product itself. What type of compliance rules are there? You're training that robot to do whatever it is that you want to do. Who keeps the data? How does that data? How they're using your data on their platform, right? Just different things. Engineering Canada says, my concern with the algorithm, those it take the effects of climate change. I have seen an application on robots that utilize deep learning and reinforcement learning in disaster areas. Yep. I could see Donald Watt said I could see him contracting these robots out to Amazon to replace their line. Oh yeah, that's coming. That's coming. That's coming. What also, again, I go back to their basics: DevSecOps, cloud, pick a cloud, any cloud, security, operating system, programming language. All this is those things. Pick something, run with it. Pick multiple things and run with it. Leverage your skill sets, the opportunity that you have in order to take it to the next level. Is one of those things. And the other thing too is, don't think you got to work for somebody in order to do these things. You could be an investor into these technologies. You could be an angel investor. You could be a VC. You could be creating companies around it. You could start a fund around this. Think outside of the box. Think about your skill sets. Think about your family skill set, your friends' skill sets. How can you leverage their skill sets to create? Right? um, animation. We saw the animation with cartoons. Um, we're gonna. I can even see teachers. Some teachers going away for certain classes. They won't be in person. They'll probably be online. Be designed by AI course curriculum, something like that. I see that happening as well too. So I don't know. Drop your thoughts in the chat on what you're thinking and so forth. Um, D, we can end the show right here. I think I have mostly. Oh no, one thing. Sorry, it's always one more thing. And then this right here, the 15 top paying IT certifications for 2022. The highest paying certification in the U.S. this year was the AWS Solutions Architect professional certification with an average salary of 168,000 and 13% higher than the average salary of the top 15. Most well-paying certifications average around 142. Today, Skillsoft, this is from Skillsoft, released their 15 top paying IT certifications. All right, so let's go in here and look. Security, the most lucrative of certifications. And we're going to see security in AI, CrowdStrike, know before. You're going to see more of that, right? Getting into the specifics of many certification types and focus security certification of the most lucrative with an average salary of around 153,000. Cloud has an average salary of 150. AWS certifications, despite having top paying certifications mentioned, are just a tad lower on average overall, with the annual salary around 149. It's all good news for many technical professionals looking to grow their career and capitalize on their certifications and experience into their incomes. Tech professionals with one or more certifications continue to see strong demand for the job market. For instance, LinkedIn job listings show a combined of 117,000 open security positions. We saw, I think it was 500,000 or 700,000 security positions that are open. See, there are 88,200 open jobs listed on the platform for candidates who hold at least one of 6 cloud architect certifications below. All right here, AWS professional CISM, certified information security manager, GCP, professional cloud architect, CISSP, AWS solutions architect, certified AWS certified security, PMP, Nutanix, really is on-prem, Microsoft, GCP, digital cloud leader, CISA, certified information systems auditor, AWS certified big data, VCP, which is your VMware, AWS, and your CCNP, right? Now take that and take these certs and add on Linux, add on understanding Terraform, add on understanding how to automate security things and so forth, and you'll see that these things, I'm gonna say these things, you'll see that those skills add on to your bottom line, right? You'll see these skills add on to your bottom line. So the question is, where do you want to be on the pole? On the pole. That's funny. Where you want to be in the tech arena? Let me rephrase that. Do you want to be at the top of the food chain or at the bottom of the food chain? Or you're not interested in tech at all, right? You got to remember, what this looks like 10 years from now, right? Peter Investor said, I started to see a lot of commercial ads for Google Cloud and AWS Cloud training and jobs. Cool. You wonder where you can find the studies. Okay, you're talking to what you call it. Not the poll for the people. Yeah, not the poll. right? But I want to give y'all that so you can have that information. Again, going back to what I talked about earlier, starting from the beginning, looking at skit.ai, look at octoml.ai, look at Intel, look at AI, look at the robots that are being created, look at how they're using them, what adjacent communities or adjacent partnerships that are centered around it. One of the things, autonomous vehicles, um, conference. Um, let's see. I guess IEEE has something. Oh, that's what I want. Autonomous Vehicles USA Conference 2022. Right. It was in May in Long Beach. But look at who the speakers were and what the topics were. Who this going across the screen right here? This rolling scroll bar right here. You need to look at those companies as well too. Um, they got a list of who should attend. Crash avoidance engineering, right? Here, the key topics for this year agenda included or includes autonomous vehicle market outlook, industry forecast, new technologies and strategies for connected and automated vehicles, LiDAR, ADAS, calibration, sensor fusion, artificial intelligence and deep learning, autonomous vehicle and control systems, and high performance, going back to high performance computing, regulations and safety standards, manufacturer case studies, and leading developers, right? Understand who partnered with them, who showed up to the conference, what were their talks, what did they see. We got BMW on here, right? Here's the sponsors. Upstream. Find out about Upstream. Let's see. Media. And this is how to become a partner. But again, I just want you to think outside of the box. With your skill sets, how to, and then how to look at these companies in as also investment opportunities. Put them on your watch list, and see if you can get into those companies as well too. Top of the food chain. That's right, Carlton. Tesla robots on the pole. We probably will. They probably already got that. What's a good backup company? What's a good backup automation company to invest? Why you think Cisco dropped? A good automation company. I again, I don't look at I don't necessarily the automation. I'm looking at who's using that automation, right? So start backwards. Who's using the automation and then work backwards from there. I do like the Intel play. Um, but what is Intel going to do with how are they going to market that? What's that going to be like? They bought their company for $15.3 billion. They got to do something with it, or it's a bust. Just like IBM bought Red Hat for $34 billion. They have to do something with that technology. They have to get that ROI back, or heads will roll. It's just what it is. But a good company, Waymo is one. I don't know if you're familiar with Waymo. Here's Waymo. This is a Google self-driving car project. They are another one, right? There's robots for food delivery as well too. Um, and why do I think Cisco dropped? I think Cisco over the years has started to lose its market share for a number of reasons. It's still popular, don't get it wrong, but I think they've lost some of their market share with the introduction of AVI networks and Palo Alto, different vendors doing different things. see, this is what you don't see on the back end of that. A lot of these companies partner with each other. They may not have the technology per se, or they may have the technology, but they need the people and stuff. They'll partner with each other and start creating new products or start forming another company, right? So that's what you don't see. You don't see who Cisco is partnering with. You don't hear about, their, in terms of buying their hardware, in terms of the contracts that they have with, other networking companies. Right? You see a lot more partnerships. You're gonna see a whole lot more partnerships as we continue. Oh, that's you talking to attention to me. Well, folks, that's it. I do have content for another show, but I won't do it because you know. So if you got anything you would like for us to talk about as well too, don't hesitate to send us information or ask or whatnot, or leave comments in the comment section. Get your skills up, invest, share the stream with others. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button. And as always, we thank you for coming, and we'll see you all next week. All right, y'all be safe.